Hey there, Brian. It is Jay here at Rorick Mazda. Thank you again for the opportunity to not only assist, but also potentially help with being the dealership that is able to earn your business for your next vehicle. Now, I wanted to just quickly make you a video to go over the two different trim levels that I had sent over. And a lot of it was due to availability. Now, just a quick clarification I had broke down in my email. This color here in front of me is platinum quartz. This is actually what Mazda considers their silver, but as I mentioned, it's actually almost like a light gold to a champagne. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, so that way you can ultimately decide if you like this or not. Now, white in all of, at least from what I remember, just our initial text conversation, was your first preference of color, which you can kind of see the rhodium white right next to it. So everything that I had quoted you on was on the rhodium white. But the good news is I also have the gunmetal gray, which is going to be their machine gray. I also have the jet black mica, which is their black. Now on the CX-50, there is no silver option at all. However, for the CX-5, again, this is considered their silver, which is really kind of like a light gold. So just wanted you to be aware of that. Now the trim here in front of me is the preferred level of the CX-5. I typically use it over the Select because the $1,300 price premium that you get over the Select adds quite a bit of features, and it honestly is a very, very good value. Because for instance, the full leather seating, the power passenger seat, the 8-way power driver seat with memory option for the driver, the auto-dimming mirror with the HomeLink system, the sunroof, as well as the automatic power liftgate that has height programming in it. All of those features I just mentioned are what you get for only $1,300. Now, obviously for CX-5, one thing that will be slightly different, everything is painted. The CX-50 will kind of carry on that more rugged look with some of the cladding at the bottom. 17-inch wheels will be standard, a slight difference where the CX-50s will have an 18-inch all-black wheel. But interior-wise, you are going to have full leather seats. Oh, this one is locked here, so I'll have to unlock it really quick. Just give me 1 second. The good news is both vehicles will have your standard 11-inch screens up on top of the dash. They will have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Something to bear in mind, though, it is wireless in the CX-50, where you do have to be connected into one of the USB ports for the CX-5. Not quite certain of that disconnect as why one is wireless to one is wired. Now, this is going to be the full leather seats with accented gray piping. You'll see that you have memory seats for the driver. You'll have your dual zone climate system with obviously your heated seats. All vehicles will have USB charging for your backseat passengers. You'll have a sunroof here, and then obviously that power liftgate, which I'll just quickly demonstrate here. Let me just click the liftgate button. So obviously open and closes automatically here. So from a value perspective, there's really no right or wrong answer. I would say in the end, it kind of comes down to space. I say that because the CX-50 is about 6 inches longer than a CX-5. It's about 2 inches wider, but it also sits about 3 inches lower. So that's where it can kind of trip people up a little bit in terms of the proportions. So technically, if you need more space, the CX-50 will actually be a little bit better of an option. But for me, from a pricing standpoint, I actually think the CX-5 is positioned a bit better, because you'll notice, for instance, the Select model that I had quoted you in the email is actually for their Select model of the CX-50. So it is not going to have leather seats. It's not going to have a sunroof. It's not going to have a power liftgate. It won't have memory seats and so forth. However, you'll notice from a pricing standpoint, there's a very, very minor difference. In fact, I'd have to look through the email, but I think it was like a $500 or $600 total difference from the 50 to the 5. And more importantly, the finance options on the CX-5 are actually more lucrative because you have 0% for 60 months, where you'll have a 1.9% on your CX-50 at 60 months, and you have a 1.9% for 72 months on your CX-5, whereas you'll have a 2.9% on your CX-50. Now, all of my Select levels are actually on my ancillary lot, which is one building down. But what I'm going to do here is just show you this premium level in white, because the Select is going to look identical. If you just pretend that you don't see the sunroof on the roof, then everything that you'll see is what a Select CX-50 is going to look like. Now, obviously, the CX-50 has a little bit more aggressive looks, and that's simply because you have that clad again. Fenders are a little bit squared off to kind of give it some muscle. You'll have all of the blacked out grille, you have the blacked out wheels, and the blacked out mirrors as standard. So you do kind of have this more aggressive look with the CX-50, where I kind of get more of a sophisticated look on the CX-5 with cleaner lines, and then again, everything painted around the wheel wells. But I hope that this information helps kind of go over sort of those differences in CX-5 to CX-50. And more importantly, I really do once again appreciate the opportunity. So I'm going to upload this video alongside some of the information that you had requested. And I definitely look forward to hearing back that you had received that and were able to review it. Thank you again.